How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's Nex here with my breakdown and predictions following the preview of episode 6. If you have read or watched other videos about leaked plots, please do not post spoilers in the comments. If people want to find that shit out, I'm sure they will Google it. Alright, I don't know what I was more excited about, how awesome episode 5 was, or the insanely impressive preview for episode 6. Oddly enough, even though it was the biggest preview that we've had so far, it only really teased at 2 plotlines. I'm sure we'll get a few other things though, as it's going to be over 70 minutes long. So, the first one I want to talk about is the ongoing politics over at Winterfell. Arya is already onto Littlefinger and she is clearly sensing some foul play going on. Baelish asking Maester Walken for old messages and scrolls and passing it off that it was on Sansa's request, paying what looks like a newly acquired spy, and hushed conversations with the other lords. Also, Sansa allowing the northern men to speak out the way they did against Jon. Arya is not happy, and we last saw her trying to find some evidence so that she can get a conviction against Littlefinger. In the preview, we can see Sansa looking like she's sneaking around the castle as Arya speaks the words, "You're scared, aren't you? What are you scared of?" But I'm almost certain that this is just a play to throw us off who she's really talking to. We've seen them do this so many times this season in their previews and trailers. I believe that she is saying these words to Baelish, that she finally gets the evidence that she's looking for, or catches him doing something that he really shouldn't be. I enhanced the scroll that I found in his room to be sure of what it said, and it is definitely the scroll that Cersei forced Sansa to send to Robb after Ned was taken prisoner. Why on earth would Baelish need the only copy of this message? It would make absolutely no sense at all if Sansa knew he wanted it, because even though the letter is in her hand, it was Queen Cersei's words. Unless that is Baelish was or is going to try and use this against Sansa. Perhaps a way of conspiring with the other lords that Sansa cannot be trusted? Or was it even the same scroll that he requested from Maester Walken? The fact that he stayed behind to spy on Arya would suggest that he planted it there on purpose. What do you guys think? Was the scroll that Arya found the right one? And if you have any ideas why Peter would need that scroll, then please share them with us in the comments. The last shots that we get in Winterfell are of Arya and Sansa exchanging some very serious looks. Is this the moment that Arya shows or tells Sansa about the scroll? Will they finally be forced to act on something that Littlefinger has done? Or are the two Stark sisters facing off again? Because to be honest, if they are, I'm all team Arya right now. She's got Jon's back. Poll time. What do you think is going down in this scene between Arya and Sansa? 1. They're discussing Littlefinger's fate, or 2. Arya is challenging Sansa again. Alright, onto the serious business. It looks like most of the episode is going to focus on our dream team ranging north of the wall on their mission to capture a white. It looks like things are going to start off quite plain sailing, as they seem to make some pretty good ground deep in the north before we get this scenic shot of a mountain. It could be nothing, but to me it seems as though the focus could be showing us that this is the mountain that the Hound saw in his visions. Next over, we have Beric talking to Jon, giving us his spiel about how death eventually always wins, which to be fair, it might be a sad truth, but he's right. It makes me wonder whether Jon opens up about what happened to him, because they've both been through that shit. Although in comparison, Beric's a bit of a master of the resurrection game by now. From all the clips in the preview and the previous trailers, it looks like they've given us about 3 or 4 separate events during this expedition. First, it seems like they all get caught up in a bit of a blizzard, but obviously something is spooking them out. All the swords and weapons are drawn and they take a back-to-back circle formation. At this point, it looks like everyone is still alive, which is good news because honestly, this is one hell of an all-star lineup, and sadly, they ain't all making it out alive. There seems to be some significance about this little gorge that they go through because we've seen it a few times now. In the preview, we see Jon turn back as if he's heard or seen something, and there's even this sound in the trailer, which honestly, I can't make out whether it's just part of their theatrical music or whether it's coming from whatever Jon is looking at. The easy guess is probably that Jon and his crew get jumped by this White Walker and a band of whites, as we can see everyone throwing down, and they have enough time at this point to fight their way out. We've got Gendry doing work, but obviously it's up to Jon to deal with the big boy White Walker. After a while, it looks like they must get overwhelmed as we can see our dream team having to bail out and make a sprint for some high ground, and it is literally squeaky bum time as you can see the whites already flanking them not long after they get on their toes. Just after their chase, we see this one white charging towards the hound, and in the background you can already see the crazy number of whites chasing them. Also, is the hound using Gendry's warhammer at this point, or did they both have one? We know that the team gets stranded up on the rock as we can see Jon Snow looking out over the hordes of dead and goodness knows what else by this point, and I know we're all waiting for that moment when Beric lights up his sword. But what happens for Jon to end up on his own? I've spoken about this before, and we can see fire in the background of this shot, and we know only one thing is going to be able to cause that in such a deep winter. Now excuse my language here, but what the fuck is going on in this scene? Was this reveal of the Night King in the next episode confirmation that he's going to be screwing with Jon, sending whites at him one at a time? Will they have their first showdown, because I'm dying to see what the Night King can really do with an edged weapon. All we can assume is that it doesn't entirely end well for Jon, because we can see him here looking injured, riding out on what can only be Benjen's horse. Who else owns a living breathing horse north of the wall? My only question to you guys is what is going on here with another shot of people leaving through the Eastwatch gate? Members of our dream team returning from the fight? Members of the Night's Watch running out to help some survivors? Before this ends, I want to know who's on your death list. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please respect those who don't follow the leaks and just enjoy the content whilst we've got it. Let me know your thoughts on episode 5, my breakdown is on its way. 7 blessings people, I'll see you later.